Hello and welcome to my first episode of Dub Appreciation. I am DK, aka the Dub King. Now, the reason I'm called the Dub King is because I love watching shows in dub. So, these are my 3 rules for reviewing anime. Rule number 1, I will only watch shows when they are dubbed. Not that I got a problem with subtitles in the Japanese language, because I would love to learn Japanese eventually. It's just, I'd rather listen to stuff in my own language for the time being, plus I don't like reading. Just simple as that. I do not like to read whatsoever. Rule number 2. I will not review a show until I have owned it first. I have over 80-something series, so I will get to those eventually. But I'm just going to do a review for today, just for right now. And rule number 3. I will not review shows until they are done. So, for example, over here in the States, One Piece, Naruto Shippuden, Bleach, even though Bleach is finished over in Japan, I will not review them until they are dubbed and I have owned them. Just as simple as that. Anyway, let's get to my very first review, and that is of Saiyuki. Now, let's get to work. Story. The story of Saiyuki is basically the old Chinese story Journey to the West, which revolves around a monk, a monkey king, a half-demon, and a man-turned-demon, as they are sent to India by a group of Buddhist monk gods, and they have to stop the revival of the god Demon King. But here's the twist. They never seem to really get around to actually doing that, because they're always being stopped by whatever there is, by helping out Johnny nobody really cares about, actually going up against some other characters that we'll discuss later on. While they still say they're going on their journey, that's not really what the main focus of the story of Saiyuki is really about. It's basically just the journey of these 4 anti-heroes and pretty much their shenanigans and misadventure that they have while going on their actual adventure. They still focus on their adventure, really. It's just that they focus way too much off of that topic for a long period of time. Seriously, I was watching this and then I was wondering, like, weren't they supposed to be stopping the revival of some Demon King or whatever? I mean, it's just the fate of the whole world at stake. It's not really that big of a deal. So basically, what I'd have to do is give the rating a 8 out of 10. Characters. Now, the characters of Saiyuki are absolutely the best part of the show. The first one to start off with is a character called Genjo Sanzo. Pretty much, he is the monk that is in charge of stopping the revival of the Demon King. And he is a complete hard ass. Anything in the world will absolutely piss him off to no friggin' end, where he has to bring out his gun to actually intimidate the other main anti-heroes into doing what he says, or he threatens to kill them. Another one of our anti-heroes is Sha Gojo. And pretty much the only thing you need to know about him is that he loves women, he loves booze, and he loves the smokes. Because it's basically him wrapped in a nutshell. Aside from the fact that he is a half-demon, where his mother was demon and his father was human, and he's a water sprite or water imp. He's a water demon. They haven't really explained what kind of water demon he is. Yet, strangely enough, he's afraid of the water. Now, another one of our characters is basically the only real hero, and that is Joe Hakai. Now, this dude is pretty special. He was originally a regular old dude until certain circumstances. I'm not going to spoil anything. You have to watch the show to figure that out. Causes him to turn into a demon. And he is the crew's pretty much their ride, but it's not him. It's this little dragon that he carries around with him called Hakaru that can turn into a jeep. No, seriously, they have a dragon that turns into a jeep that they ride through their destination. Now here we got our last of the main 4 characters. And this one is my personal favorite, Son Goku. Whoops. Wrong one. Actually, it's this guy right here. And he's basically revolved around the actual Monkey King in the old Chinese mythology. And I will say this, him and the other Goku you just saw, they have the same character traits. They both love to fight, both love to eat. So the characters of Saiyuki are the best part of the show. For overall rating, I'd also have to give it an 8 out of 10. Animation. Now the animation in it is not that bad. It's just that you would think for an action series you'll get some pretty awesome action scenes in it, but basically what it does is that it uses these still images and just move them to simulate action, which is pretty weak. I mean, later on the action scenes do get good. Sadly enough, it's only in the very last episode. Now I know that there's more of it going on after the original series, but I'm just focusing on this one right now. So action is pretty weak. So for the animation rating, I have to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Sound. The sound in it is pretty good. It's got some really good openings and endings. It's just that they tend to use the same 5 scores the whole entirety of the show, which gets boring very quickly. I mean, you would think they could afford to get some more songs and music in there, but apparently not, which I'd have to give the rating for the sound of it a 6 out of 10, just because I love the openings and the endings. Overall rating. Saiyuki does have its flaws with what it's very crappy, not too much crappy animation and not too much sound and all that. The characters and the story are what make the show pretty entertaining to watch. So combining the rates of story, characters, animation, sound, and my overall enjoyness of the show, I'd have to give the show a rating of 7.1 out of 10. And I highly recommend buy. This has been DK of Dub Appreciation, and thanks for watching my first review, and catch another one later on in the future.
So, 人が良さそうな顔でやってくる突然の悲劇も疑うことはなく嘆くことせず黙ったままで上を見上げるんだどんなありふれたしも感じ続ける
Next time on Dub Appreciation.